Today I've got a viewer's request on how to test and mix greens in watercolour. So in part 1 I'm going to go through 5 different methods of mixing green. Let's get started. Okay, now I'm looking at this leaf and I want to try and get the green on this peach leaf. This very kind of bright vivid green, as you can see. It's a lovely bright green. But what colours can I use for that to kind of achieve this brightness? Now I've already gone through some colour ideas. And let's have a quick look at my half pans here. And I think with this one I'm going to go for a mixture, let's say lemon yellow, which is this one here, look. Okay, so lemon yellow, or limon. I'm going to pop that into that little well there a minute. Get a bit of water in there. Now the only thing with half pans, you have to work the colour up a little bit. Okay, so lemon yellow. A little bit more. Let's be generous with it. And the other good thing about when you're making up a colour as well is that you can leave it in this mixing well here, in my ceramic dish, and you can use it for another painting. You can just re-wet it afterwards. So lemon yellow, and I'm going to go for a little bit, as I mentioned, of the Hooker's green, which is this one here. Now it's quite a strong green. It's not green you very often see people use, not to that degree. And you see what I mean in a minute, look. Now I've hardly touched that, and you can see it's already tainted, or tinted, should I say, that colour there. So, is that the right colour? Not entirely sure. Let's have a quick look. Now I've got plenty of little tester strips in. All these are all paintings I've kind of cut up. Paintings which I don't use anymore, you know. So if I look at this one now, I'm going to test that one out and compare that. See, that's far too yellow, isn't it? Even as you go around the photograph, it's still too yellow. And even that's also for the kind of end bits as well. Yeah, a little bit too yellow. So let's have a little bit more Hooker's green in there. So that one again. A little bit of Hooker's green. Ah, now that's looking better. So now we've got that colour mixed up. I can test that one and see what that's like. Very often I'll test right to the edge of the kind of off-cut piece of watercolour paper. And then I can offer that up and I can see straight away that's now about the right colour. So I'm going to load my brush, make sure that it's just about fully loaded, but take a little bit off on the edge. Now I've already wetted the paper down just a fraction, just dampen that surface. This allows this paint to kind of blend and just flow better on the surface of the watercolour paper. And all I'm simply doing with this is covering the entire leaf. I know, just covering the entire leaf just with this one colour. And then I can add more colours to that and change the value a little bit more by adding a little bit more, as you know, of that Hooker's green into the mix. And by doing so, then that's going to get a little bit darker. Got to be careful though, you don't want to go more towards the blue side of the green, so you've got to be really careful with that. And because Hooker's green is quite a strong, rich colour, it will dilute the lemon yellow very quickly indeed. And the other thing as well, if I went straight onto dry paper, you find the colour would be stronger, more of a richer tone, of a stronger feel to it. So you have to remember that. So it depends if you want to start off with a deeper tone or a lighter tone. In my case, I prefer to start light and gradually work my way towards a more intense colour. Now the next green I want to try and mix is this colour green here. Now you can see there's more than one type of green there, isn't there? It's actually quite yellow in places, isn't it? It really is. Now I've had a quick play with some more testing like this one here, that's my previous one, to try and work out the colour that I need. And I believe for this one I'm going to make a mix of lemon yellow and olive green, but more to like a watery consistency. Very similar, should I say, to the one I've just shown you. So how to do that? Okay, let's have a quick look. Let's put that down there for a minute. Don't you dare slide anywhere, because my board is on a bit of an angle here, you know. So I'm going to go for the lemon yellow first of all. I know I need some more in there, don't I? I really do. So lemon yellow. Let's get that one there. And add that one into the one below, I think, for a change. Keep mixing. You can of course use tube paints instead. You find tube paints obviously mix much quicker. They really do activate much quicker. Straight out of the tube. But because I'm a fine artist, I find using half pan paints much easier. And also, I find it doesn't waste that much paint either. So when you buy a new block of half pan, it does last you quite some time. Now, there's lemon yellow. And as I mentioned, I'm going to try a little bit of olive green, but I want to try and get it to the right tonal value. So I don't want it too deep in colour, so too green. only kind of in between really. So let's pop some olive green in. Ooh, not sure, it might be a little bit too much, so we'll give that one a quick try, shall we? So you can see the colour there, and let's just try that one first of all. And you can see, if I just do that there, that's not too far off, is it? Not too far off, but you've got to think about the background colours when you're working on it as well. So olive green's not too far, but I'm going to try a little bit more olive green in there and see what we get. Okay, so a bit more olive green. So it's just going to change it a little bit. You can see it's a little bit deeper in colour now. And that's getting better, that's more like it. You still need that lemon yellow in the mix, just kind of brighten that a little bit more. And that's about right. That's what I'm looking for, something like that. Okay, and that'll work on the main kind of background colour. However, all you need to do on this one, just water it down first of all like that, look. And that's what I'll need this colour in here just to be like as well. Otherwise, it'll be too dark to begin with, and you won't have any room for kind of adjustments or layering overlayers on the top once this is dry. So I'll give you some ideas how I would mix this colour for the background colour in there for this lovely ladybird painting. Now the first thing I want to do is just kind of wet the left hand side here that little bit, because I want it to kind of blend out towards the background, so it's kind of more sort of diffused feel to it. So by wetting the paper first of all and just allowing it to kind of just dampen around the outskirts of the background colour, this colour green will help me kind of blend that in. So when I tilt that, you can see where the water's gone to, can't you? That's it, right. And then we'll go for some of this bright yellow green in there, but not right to the edge though, because I want it to blend into that background that little bit as well. That's why we dampened it down, wasn't it? So that's the idea behind that. So add another layer over the top, and every layer, if you remember, is going to get darker and richer in tone, isn't it? And you can see when I'm adding this extra colour over the top, even though it's the same colour, it will start to get that a little bit darker, a little bit richer, a little more colourful as well. We've got to be careful with that though. We don't want to get too colourful with it, do we? So that's one end, so now I need to do exactly the same on the other end. And then cover the entire leaf with this particular colour. In fact, when you cover this entire leaf, you don't need to wet that paper, okay? Now what colour do you find difficult to mix using watercolour? Tell you what, pop a little comment down below for me and let me know what colour that is, and I might make a little video on it. Now with the parrot, the green is used for the first layer of the green feather details. So I've got to try and make that green up. So what am I going to use for that one? Again, done a little bit of testing first of all to save all that time, okay? And it's always wise to go through your different selections of greens that you've got within your palette first, and then try versions of blues and yellows as well. Okay, so have a look, see what you've got within your mixes. To be honest with you, you don't need that many colours because you can make most of the colours from just a small selection, you really can. So I'm going to go for a mixture of, let's say, lemon yellow and sap green, because that's a lovely colour, isn't it? It really is. So we just move that around, just that fraction there. Into the lemon yellow, try that one, okay. And I've got Gambo yellow as well, or Gambo hue should I say. And you can try different versions of yellow, there's all sorts of yellows out there, isn't there? But this is quite a bright yellow, it really is on this one. This lemon yellow, and it's one that I've used for many, many, many years, I really have. So I'll put that one in there. And as I mentioned, I'm going to try just a little bit of sap green. Now sap green is this one here. Sap green is one of those colours where on its own it can be a little bit, I don't know, a little bit false. So you've got to be really careful with that. Just put a small amount in. Look at that. That's probably too much already. It really is, isn't it? Probably too much. So I'm going to have to change that back again with a little bit of lemon yellow. Now, because I've just come out of that green, I don't want to go straight into that yellow mix. Wash your brush out in the dirty water and then in the clean water as well. Otherwise, you'll find you'll end up tainting that yellow with a bit of blue or a bit of green, and then you'll have a very mucky looking yellow in your half pan selection there. So that's lightened it down a little bit. So just try that a minute and see what it's like. So scrap paper again, so scrap watercolour paper, give it a test and see what it's like. So just test it on there though. Just cover one little corner in, something like that will do. And then we'll check that alongside the reference photograph. So if I just have a look at the greens, where should we go? Let's try the brightest green, which is going to be on the top of the wing here, or the shoulder of the wing, if I can get rid of that. And you can see that's not too bad. It's a bit too bright really, isn't it? It's quite a bright green, that, isn't it? However, when you look down here, you can see, thank you, you can see that this is more of a yellowy green, isn't it? So even though we could potentially use that colour for this background there, we could add a little bit more sap green within this mix. So if I just get a little bit more of that from there, you can just about see it there, look. And we'll try that one just in the corner of this wet paper here and see what that looks like. And you can just dampen your brush down, just wash your brush out, should I say, and just dampen that down. And then you get a gradiated feel between those mixes there, look. See what I mean? So you could use that within that section. However, it's still too green. So you know what we're going to do next? We're going to get a little bit of lemon yellow. So a little bit of that there, look. Okay, put that down. And we'll try that on this, just this edge here, and see how that looks. Now that's looking much better. And if you lighten it, just take your brush across the top like that. Then you start to see, a bit more, Paul, that's better. Then you start to see we're getting the colours that we need within there. And that's basically what I'll do to kind of work out the colours, a bit more lemon yellow though. Still mixed with some of that greeny colour in there. And that's now getting more towards this background yellow in there, isn't it? It's like a yellowy green. To get the darker green, all you need to do is add a little bit more sap green in there, like that, look. And that's getting darker. And we can even tint that down with other colours as well to make it even darker again. Remember, every layer we add on this, the darker that green will get. And also the richer in tone. Now looking at this Devon Violet, I want to try and recreate the colour for this very bright green stem. As you can see, it's a very bright green, isn't it? But I want to try and get that green just about right. So I want to do that. I'm going to work on that green. I've had a look at the colours again, trying to work out what to use. And I'm trying to think about a colour which is going to be obviously green, but probably a mixture of lemon yellow and French ultramarine for those two kind of colours. So just get that, turn it around a minute. So I'm going to go lemon yellow, as I mentioned before. Okay, so lemon yellow, which is that one there. Pop into that one. We'll try that one first. And French ultramarine. But you've got to remember as well that French ultramarine is quite a strong colour. So if I just put that in there like that, is that going to be deep enough? I don't know. Wash that brush out nice and thoroughly again. I'm going to get some more lemon yellow. You've got to keep adjusting this accordingly. You've also got to think about the consistency of the paint as well. Now I want this to be more of a sort of watery consistency to begin with for this picture, okay? Because I don't want it too thick, because I'm going to be working from light to dark as per usual with watercolours. So lemon yellow, alright, and French ultramarine. I think I went into the wrong one then. Oh dear, but that's probably a little bit too dark, it really is. Let's give it a try anyway. So that's the green I want down there. And you can see straight away that's far too dark on that green, isn't it? A little bit too dark. So I'll need to add a little bit more lemon yellow. Alright, so let's go into that one again. I do need some more lemon yellow in there, don't I? I really do. There we go, lemon yellow. Add that one in. And then we'll try once again. Let's have a quick look. Ah, now that's looking better. But now that's probably a little bit too yellow. Oh dear, I don't know. So I'm going to get just a touch more French ultramarine. Just touched it, see that? Try it in one corner first of all. Too blue. And then mix some more of that colour in with it. We'll try that one. Not too bad. Bit more. So small adjustments is the way you want to look at this. Now if you want to thicken that mix, because that's about right there. Look at that. Oh, well, I'm pleased with that one. Yeah, that's not too far off. So if you want to thicken that mix, you'll have to use less water and more pigment. So less water and more paint basically is what you're going to look for. Okay, so that's how I would mix the colour to begin with anyway for the background foundation wash for this lovely Devon Violet stem. Now looking at the peacock, I'm trying to work out the colours around the face, because you can see it's not just blue, is it? That's a lovely blue. But I want to work out the greens. So what colour green will that be? Now, through my usual testing process, as you know, I do lots of testing on pieces of scrap watercolour paper. I've gone for a colour mix of, let's go for lemon yellow and phthalo blue, because phthalo blue is such a rich colour, isn't it? Very vibrant colour. So when you look at my mixing palette again, we'll go back to my lemon yellow. I know, I will get some more, honestly. I'm going to get some more in there. I very often squeeze tube paints within my half pan sections as well. Doesn't last quite as long, it's not quite as concentrated, but it's pretty good. It's just a quick way of refilling them rather than just buying another half pan block, you know. Now phthalo blue, now this is a strong, very strong colour. And I want this really, oh dear, that might be a bit too strong, we'll see. I want this really to more of a milky mix, I would have thought initially, and see how it goes. So scrap watercolour paper again, we'll give that one a test. We'll try that one just there though, first of all, one edge, because at least then you can just offer this edge up to the reference photograph. And you can see straight away, that's nowhere near that colour, is it? Nowhere near it. So what do we need to do? I want to add some more phthalo blue, don't I? Okay, so back to your phthalo blue, again this one here. Grab some of that, put that down, give that a try that one. It's hardly changed it really. Let's get some more phthalo blue. You can easily overdo it, see what I mean, look? So that's already overdone it probably. Or has it? Oh, now that isn't far off, is it? If I just lighten that down, drag some of that off, you can see clearly now. You can see at a glance that's not far off. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to add just a touch more phthalo blue into there as well. Just a touch. And we'll try that one as well. And you can see straight away that's about the right colour. It's not far off. I can always add a touch more blue in that again, couldn't I? But that's what I want to do. So like a watery to milky mix, something around the area is what I'm looking for this. So with this green, I just want to add this just within this area there. Just gives you a feeling of different colours, doesn't it? Even though it's the same two mixes, still phthalo blue and lemon yellow. So by just varying those colours as you go around, will all work for that underlaying foundation colours. And at this point you can fine tune it as much as you want to. You can increase the tonal values of the colour. You see, by varying all these colours from one colour to the next, by just kind of switching between the two, yellow and blue, then that'll be nice and varied when it's nice and dry for when we add the details over the top. Now take a look at the video to the right where I'll show you some more colour mixing combinations using watercolour. I'll see you there.